What's up, good people and Eagle and 49er fans? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you had a good weekend, because tomorrow is a big day. It is NFL Sunday, week number 8, and got to get up in the morning. People always ask me what I'm cooking. What you making for a game day? Well, a couple things here. You know, this season, the big sub hasn't been working on regular and things. And they always say, it's only weird if it doesn't work. Well, I will say this. I have had 3 different types of corned beef sandwiches. And each time that we have, including the last one, which was when we played the Steelers, where you had the French fries and the coleslaw on it, corned beef, and I grilled the sub. It was actually really good. Wade wasn't crazy about it, but I thought it was really good. And the panini sandwich, where they put coleslaw and French fries on every sandwich, which is interesting because the reason why they did that was because of the workers and things. It was easy. You had your whole meal together. You had your fries, your coleslaw, which were side dishes, and on the sandwich, so you could eat it all on the go because you just didn't have time, which really makes sense. That's where in life, a lot of things are invented out of necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention, as the saying goes. You do things because there's a need. So I'm going to probably make some kind of a corned beef sandwich. I know one of the big things in San Francisco was a clam chowder in a bread bowl. And my friend Allie, who's here, she's like, oh my God, I got to have some of your clam chowder. So I'm going to make a pot of clam chowder early in the morning. And I'll get the corned beef. And maybe I'll make a Reuben sub to go with the Joe Boo wings. So we'll do something like that for the game. We got all damn day. Good Lord. So, interesting thing happened, and I don't know that a lot of people realize this. I know that my friend Marvine, who's a Washington Commanders fan, and of course Allie, who is an Eagles fan, realize this. But the NFL is beginning to flex games. See, the Eagles versus Cincinnati was supposed to be a 4 o'clock game. Washington versus the Bears was supposed to be a 1 o'clock game. But the NFL decided to switch that up, which is kind of funny because I thought the Eagles were like a Super Bowl favorite. And the Commanders, well, they haven't been good in forever. And their quarterback is injured, so Marcus Mariota is going to be playing against the Bears. I'm just curious, Eagle fans, how does it feel to be moved out of prime time for a 1 o'clock slot? Because I guess they figured not that many people really want to watch. So, I've got something I want to say to 49er fans. I've had, early on in the season, and all off-season, 49er fans. In fact, I had a 49er fan who used to email me about every other day and tell me every mistake that I made. And I know I make a lot of mistakes, okay? I make a lot of mistakes because I just go and I go and I go and I go. I've been on a roof today. I got myself a new grill. I smoked some steaks on there. Had my live stream. Just got finished kicking ass playing spades. That's right. I kicked Allie's ass. It's spades. Oh my God. Shit. Almost ran a Boston on their ass. But anyway, be that as it may, I do make mistakes because I'm one take guy. Don't have time for editing. I just do it, send it up. And it's either going to be great or it's going to be full of mistakes. The funny thing is, I have only seen one 49er fan all week long. And this is where I've been taking shit upon shit upon shit from 49er fans about how bad the Cowboys are. And I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem taking shit if it's consistently. Because I don't see you guys right now that have been talking all this shit all off season. In fact, I've been talking shit ever since, you beat us a couple of years ago in the playoffs. But here's the thing. If you're going to talk the talk, then walk the walk. Don't think that if the Cowboys lose tomorrow, that gives you the right to come in and then talk some shit. It doesn't. That, my friends, is a cockroach. That is a scared punk ass bitch. I'm not saying biatch. I'm saying straight up bitch. That's a bitch move. That you're not man enough to show up the week of actually playing after talking all this shit, after belittling me, after emailing me, email after email after email. Don't think that it's cool, that we cool if you win and that you're okay coming in here. I'll block your ass. I'll block your ass. I got Eagle fans that troll the hell out of me, but they're there, win, lose, or draw. I can say, I hate their team. I hate getting trashed by them. But I can respect them because they will do the walk of shame when their team fails. So 49er fans, you bang bang crew, don't come in here bang banging if you get lucky and beat us. Because if you can't reap your team, whether they're good or bad, it doesn't give you the right then to only pound on mine because yours isn't going good. No. Oh, my fire's getting ready to go out. Okay. Need to wrap it up. Tomorrow's a big day for both of these teams, for both of these franchises. Because I think, one, you lose tomorrow, it gets a hell of a lot harder. 3-5 for San Francisco in the basement looking up in their division, that's not good. Washington playing the Bears, even with Mariota, they probably get the win and go 6-2. You're looking a long ways up at Washington. The Eagles against Cincinnati on the road. I don't know. Eagles might have a chance in that one. And if both of those teams win, my God, guys, we're getting deeper and deeper in the hole. What I think is going to happen, I've said this all day, that once we finally found out that Dalvin Cook's going to play, the question will be is, what does this mean for Zeke? Does that mean Zeke is going to be put on the bench, put on the practice squad? I don't know. But I think Dalvin Cook is hungry to play. That Dalvin Cook is not want to go back on practice squad. I think that Dalvin Cook might come out here and play like gangbusters to prove his worth. And I hope and pray that happens. Because we need a running game big time. See, a lot of you guys don't understand the cause and effect. When you can't run the football, it becomes a problem for not only the quarterback. I pointed out to you guys, play action doesn't work. But also for the offensive line. The best thing you can do for young offensive linemen is run the football. There's less thinking and things that you have to do. It's basically, we're running in this hole. This is your guy. Hook your man and drive him, to the inside. Or, hook him and block him to the outside. Or just drive block him downfield. You can use your aggressive nature. When you can't run the football and you're one-dimensional, guys are teeing off every play, and it's more defensive for the offensive lineman. They're retreating. They try to keep the defensive lineman off the quarterback. That's harder to do, especially when the defense knows you have to pass. That takes the whole thing of, we know the snap count, pretty much out of the equation. And this is where we truly need to be able to run the football. And I hope that Dalvin Cook is the cure for that. Now, I say that this is a do or die game. The reality is if you win this game, that takes off pressure off of the next two. That means, if you win one of the next two, Falcons or Eagles, if you beat the 49ers, you're in great shape. If you lose against San Francisco, then you need to beat Atlanta and the Eagles to stay relevant in it. And that's going to be a taller task. It's funny because usually once it gets to like that, it goes out real quick, but it's kind of rolling on here quite a long time. So we're still banged up. We're still beat down. We still have questions across the board. We still seem to be pointing fingers elsewhere instead of looking at ourselves, but a win would go a long ways for the Dallas Cowboys. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, good people. As you can see, I am tired. I'm real tired. And I'm going to go in here, take a shower, and go to bed. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Remember, tell the people you love how much you love them, because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. Woo! Oh, man. And God willing, I'll see you guys soon. Shout out to JMU. They won their homecoming. Peace.
Cowboys are struggling right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your game day with Prize Picks. It's the easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. Just pick 2 or more players, choose if they'll go for more or less on their stat projections, and you can win up to 100 times your entry. The best part is you can make your picks and submit them in less than 60 seconds. What makes Prize Picks so cool are their promotions like Taco Tuesday, where they discount select player projections up to 25%. That's extra value every single week on your picks. Plus, with quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and tons of players to choose from, it's no wonder that Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And getting started is a breeze. Just go to prizepicks.com and use code DOUBLEMOVE to receive a guaranteed $50 when you play just $5 in lineups. Again, that is prizepicks.com with promo code DOUBLEMOVE for your guaranteed $50. Click the link in the description, use my promo code, and start making your picks today. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. The Cowboys need to inject talent into this team. That is not a questionable statement. This team has holes on their roster, and going into week 8 of the NFL season, there's only one way to do that: making a trade. You aren't signing someone off the streets at this point that's going to make a real difference for this team. And with the trade deadline quickly approaching, is Dallas gonna make a move? It all hinges on what you think this team is trying to accomplish this year. No one even understands what they want to do moving forward. Still, we have to look at who's available in the event that the Cowboys decide they want to make a move. Right now, Dallas has 10 draft picks. Yes, 10 in 2025. Out of those, 3 of them are 5th rounders. They should definitely consider moving 1 or even 2 of those picks if they can. 10 guys from the 2025 draft are not making this team next year, so why not use them to acquire talent now? So let's look at who's available. The most talked about name right now is running back Travis Etienne from the Jags. Etienne was the Jags' first-round pick back in 2021. He has 1 year left on his deal and counts $6 million against the 2025 salary cap. That may not be a crazy amount of money, but we're talking about the Cowboys right now, the team that whines and complains about not having money for Derrick Henry, who was $8 million per year. But hypothetically, let's say that Dallas was fine with giving up $6 million in cap space next year. That means that they're going to want to trade for pennies on the dollar. They're not going to want to give up a ton of draft capital They're going to want to give up a 5th round pick or make a late round swap to acquire the player. Now, ETN is a trade target because he's kind of been lost in the shuffle over the past few weeks behind Tank Bigsby. He's fighting an injury that he suffered in the Texans game, I believe. It was a hamstring. But before that, he wasn't having a great year. He's averaging just over 4 yards per carry. And with the way that the Jags season is starting to go, I could definitely see them moving him and trying to acquire capital for next year's draft. If I was Dallas, I would be interested. But let's discuss a cheaper option for a team that is likely going to be selling at the deadline as well, and that's the Carolina Panthers with running back Miles Sanders. For Carolina, Chuba Hubbard has been their number 1 back, and he's quietly having an awesome year. I would know, he's on my fantasy team. The Panthers also took Jonathan Brooks in the 2nd round. Now, Carolina signed Sanders back in 2023, and he has a pretty big cap number, but the Panthers could eat a little bit of that money just to move on from the contract and start fresh with their younger backs. So if the Panthers did agree to eat a little bit of that money, the Cowboys might be interested because I don't think it's going to take a ton of draft capital to acquire him. A 5th round pick sounds about right to me. But with the way the running back market's going right now, I honestly have no idea. Sanders hasn't been great with the Panthers so far. 3.3 yards per carry last year, 4 yards per carry this year. So I do think you could acquire him for a cheaper price than ETN. And I'm trying to be realistic with you guys, not throw out there players that we know for sure that the Cowboys are not going to trade for. That's why we're not really going to discuss Cooper Kupp, the Rams wide receiver who just 2 or 3 years ago had one of the best wide receiver seasons of all time. The salary and bidding war is going to far outweigh what the Cowboys are willing to give up in a trade. Although Kupp is a good receiver, the injuries are starting to pile up at the age of 31, and I think the asking price, which is reportedly a 2nd round pick, paired with the salary, puts Dallas completely out of contention for that player. Well, let's say, hypothetically, Dallas didn't care about their 2nd round pick. Although they're awful in that round, they don't want to give that up. But it is funny that Pro Football Network listed 3 teams that Kupp would be a fit for. And the Cowboys have the most cap space of any team on that list at $23.7 million this year. PFN said, fitting Kupp's salary onto the books is not the question here, end quote. The problem is the Cowboys have not operated like a team that wants to make a move like this. I think Cooper Kupp is out of the question. If you want a wide receiver that fits the mold of what Dallas could want and possibly afford, that would be wide receiver Robert Woods from the Texans. Now, Woods is 32 years old, and the Cowboys have made a deal with the Texans before, if you guys remember the Brandon Cooks trade. Right now, Woods is a backup in Houston, but he's stuck behind other star wide receivers in Nico Collins and Tank Dell. The money in draft capital would match up with what Dallas likes to do in these trades, and I wouldn't hate the move. I wouldn't hate adding Robert Woods. Is it flashy? Absolutely not. I mean, 3 catches for 28 yards in 2024 does not get you excited about the player. But Woods has been solid throughout his NFL career. Obviously, the age is a concern and the drop in production. But that is a name that makes sense for Dallas. Cheap, veteran option that probably doesn't help a ton, but it's something that this organization can lean on and say, we made a move, we tried. Now, I saw a report from Bleacher Report saying that Deontay Johnson is expected to be traded amid Panthers' struggles. Now, the Panthers acquired Deontay Johnson from the Steelers for cornerback Dante Jackson with a 6th and 7th round pick swap. Honestly, looking at that, I couldn't tell you what the compensation would be for Johnson. Now, we do have to take into account that he would be a half-season rental that is free to walk after the 2024 season because he is a free agent next year. So, it does make sense that it's not somebody that the Cowboys would be tied to long-term. It would give them another wide receiver. I mean, a pretty solid wide receiver too. And maybe that's just right in the Cowboys' wheelhouse. If the money and compensation is low enough, I think that Dallas would be interested. And I think it would actually help this offense quite a bit. Johnson is a route runner, somebody that you can rely on to get open, which is something that the Dallas wide receivers have struggled with. I think it would give you a wide receiver 2 option immediately. But will the Cowboys make that move? I don't know. You guys let me know, out of the players that I listed, who do you want the Cowboys to trade for? Head down there to the comments and let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. All eyes are on Dak Prescott as Cowboys face 49ers Sunday night. What did quarterback Dak Prescott do during the Dallas Cowboys bye week? But he did much more than that. He was at the Star a couple times and got some work in off-campus with receivers, including CeeDee Lamb, to try to improve after a SOSO start to the season. I can't be stagnant. It's hard for me to be, so I've got to work, Prescott said. If there's times that there's a couple hours within the day that I can fit it in, especially whether it's the bye or whatever, I'm going to make sure I can do that. Obviously just the self-scout, wanting to figure out what I need to do better personally, individually, to make this team better, this whole unit better. I wanted to get ahead of it. It was no surprise to the coaches that Prescott would be around. If anything with Dak, you probably worry about him overworking and overtraining, offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer said. As the Cowboys, 3-3, open what head coach Mike McCarthy calls the second trimester of the season Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time, NBC, all eyes will be on Prescott. They always are, but as the highest-paid player in NFL history, thanks to his 4-year, $240 million extension signed hours before the season opener, the scrutiny grows. That's hard to imagine for the quarterback of America's team, who has had every move watched from when he was a mere 4th-round pick and Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2016, all the way through 5 playoff appearances without advancing to the NFC Championship game. But it's true. If the Cowboys are going to make it to the playoffs for a 4th straight season, something they have not done since the Super Bowl runs of the 1990s, it will be with Prescott leading the way. I'd say I've played average, and it isn't good enough right now by any means, Prescott said. It's never been good enough for me. I can't say that I've been happy or excited after any of these games that I've played. But understanding there's more plays out there for me to make, whether it's in the design or not. I'm capable of it. So far this season, Prescott has thrown for 1,602 yards, but in 3 of 6 games, he completed less than 60% of his passes. He had just 1 game like that last season. He has never had more than 4 games in a season with less than a 60% completion rate. Prescott has 6 interceptions, putting him on pace for a career-high 17. Twice he's had 6 in his first 6 starts, 2019, 2022. In 2019, he finished with 11 INTs in 16 games, but in 2022, his 15 INTs in 12 games, he missed 5 with a broken thumb, tied for the most in the NFL. Obviously, those statistics don't help for an overall performance, Coach Mike McCarthy said. Much has been made of the route running by the Cowboys wide receivers since Troy Aikman's public criticism. According to ESPN research, Cowboys pass catchers are averaging 2.9 yards of separation. Only the 49ers have been worse, 2.8 yards. Last season, when Prescott led the NFL in touchdown passes, 36, and had his best completion percentage, 69.5%, Cowboys pass catchers created 3.1 yards of separation, which was just 31st in the league. This season, the Cowboys have the highest tight window throw percentage at 23.4%. In 2023, it was 18.8%, which was 3rd in the NFL. There's more to those statistics, McCarthy said. Situational involvement is very high in those evaluations too. It's 6 games. That's another thing. Whatever the reason, nobody puts it on the weight of the contract. Cowboys finally trade for star RB in latest mock proposal. Jerry Jones might deny it all he wants, but it's obvious that the Dallas Cowboys need reinforcements if they want to be competitive this season. The November 5th trade deadline is right around the corner, and if the Cowboys don't make a significant addition, they will likely be nowhere near Super Bowl contention. Sitting at 3-3 for the season, the Cowboys have disappointed on both ends of the field. They currently have the 31st ranked defense and the 20th ranked offense in the league. One of the most glaring weaknesses is the running game. Dallas has one of the least inspiring RB rooms in the NFL. They are currently averaging a league-worst 3.5 yards per carry and rank dead last in rushing yards and touchdowns. Despite the delusional front office, fans and the media are clamoring for a trade to address this weakness. The Athletic's Mike Jones and Jeff Howe proposed a trade that could help solve this issue for the Cowboys. In their latest piece, they have Browns star Nick Chubb headed to Dallas in exchange for a 3rd round and a 6th round pick in the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns are 1-6 for the season, and they already traded away Amari Cooper. They will likely move on from any veterans with some trade value. Chubb is not only 28, but he is also in the final year of his contract, making him an obvious trade candidate. Chubb has the star power team owner Jerry Jones covets. Although it's a risk with Chubb just getting back from a huge knee injury, the reward could be massive if Chubb closes the season as a top 10 back. Mike Jones and Jeff Howe, the Athletic in his last healthy season, Chubb put up 1,525 yards and 12 touchdowns in 17 games, establishing himself as one of the best running backs in the league. He suffered a torn ACL, PCL, and MCL since then, but even in his diminished state, the 4-time Pro Bowler is likely better than any of the Cowboys' options on the roster. The Cleveland Browns could send star playmaker to the Dallas Cowboys in a crazy deal, report. The Cleveland Browns are in full rebuild mode after their 2024 season went off the rails in Week 1 to the Dallas Cowboys, and now the two teams could possibly make a trade in the next few weeks. Mike Jones and Jeff Howe from The Athletic wrote an article titled 6 NFL Trades We'd Like to See, Max Crosby to Lions, Nick Chubb to Cowboys. The Cowboys are last in rushing yards, touchdowns, and yards per attempt. Why? Because they're 30th in attempts. They don't have the personnel, and Mike McCarthy hasn't shown a lot of commitment to the ground game. Being completely out of balance has led to 3 of their games getting out of hand early. Chubb has the star power team owner Jerry Jones covets. Although it's a risk with Chubb just getting back from a huge knee injury, the reward could be massive if Chubb closes the season as a top 10 back. For the Browns, it would be a gut punch to give up such an impactful piece of their franchise, especially considering the way he was received upon his season debut. And they probably don't want to take the public relations hit after the fan base turned on quarterback Deshaun Watson, but Watson's deal is about to dramatically squeeze the books. Chubb, who turns 29 in December, is going to be a free agent after the season, and it's going to be a stretch to keep a highly paid running back on the roster with the cap gymnastics on the horizon. Whether or not the Browns are prepared to admit it, they need to give serious consideration to drafting a QB, and the extra 3rd rounder could aid that endeavor. The star running back played his first game last weekend since tearing up his knee in Week 2 of the 2023 season, and even though he will be a free agent this offseason, the Browns seem like they want him back. Cleveland needs to rebuild its entire roster, so getting a 3rd round pick back for Chubb would be solid. Still, Chubb could have another 3 to 5 good years of football left, and knowing the Browns, they would waste the draft pick anyway, so keeping Chubb and trying to sign him long-term would be the best thing for the organization. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Nick Chubb? Leave your opinion in the comments.